Well. I see you found your way back. Or perhaps this is your first time being here. Either way, I appreciate you stopping by the Truth Train because we keep it moving. You understand? I need you to do me a few solids. Number one, hit the subscribe button for me because people have alluded to the fact that they are being unsubscribed. So that further tells me that there are some chicanery behind the scenes going on, and we do understand who the corporate is, if you follow my drill. Hit the like button because I want to get into the YouTube algorithm, guys. I want to disseminate this message as far out and as broad as possible, okay? Hit the share button. Share it with a friend, okay? All right? Do that for me. Last but not least, hit the donation button, guys. Hit the super thanks. Go to my cash app. Yes, I want some money just like everybody else wants some. I do want some, all right? I do appreciate y'all. I'm over 10,000. I went from 0 to 10,000. No shout outs from nobody, just good content, just good reaction videos. And I do appreciate y'all guys because every small win fuels the next win. Shout out to everybody that's have been a part of this journey so far. All right. Well, family, I'm back one more time. You know who I am. I'm your gracious host, Drummer, 1980, hailing from Columbia, South Carolina. I hope you're having a good day today. And if that's not the case, ask yourself why, because remember, happiness is an inside job and it will always be an internal affair. Well, guys, we got to talk about this. I had to pray before I even started about this one because I asked the Lord to help me with my tongue. You understand? I'm going to just call your attention to the screen and let's have the conversation. All right, let's go.
Black American freedom history we should know. Black economics is a major threat to white supremacists, and this is why. We often hear much about the destruction done to this Black business district, but not much is emphasized about the prosperous Black freedmen who own businesses there. Here are 4.
I got on that.
Black landowner O.W. Gurley is commonly referred as the founder of Black Greenwood. Born to freed slaves in Alabama, he moved to Oklahoma. A serial entrepreneur, he purchased 40 acres of land on the north side of the city and wasted no time opening houses, purchasing buildings, and providing loans to help other Black people start their lives there. Mr. Simon Berry, a pilot, responded to Tulsa's white-only taxi service by starting his own taxi service to respond to the needs of his people. He started his company with a Model T Ford and would eventually expand his operations to include a bus line and later a charter plane service for wealthy Black oilmen in Tulsa. Miss Mabel Little arrived in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1913 with just $1.25 in her pocket. She started there and opened a successful hair salon, and from there she and her husband would use these funds to fund 10 different Black businesses together before they were all destroyed the night of the Tulsa Massacre. Miss Little lived to be 104 years old. Mr. J.B. Stratford was a lawyer who invested in real estate properties, and his most noted property was the Stratford Hotel. His luxury establishment was considered the largest Black-owned hotel in the country with 50 suites, pool hall, and a dining room for his people. Part 2 coming up.
Wow, I thought Black people was dumb. I thought they couldn't build for themselves. We was kings and yeah, we see what was going on. Nah, I'm not done yet. I'm just giving you this first before I get to the meat, okay? I'm going to call you to the screen, guys. Let's go.
Black American freedmen history and heroes of Tulsa we should know. In honor of the Tulsa Massacre anniversary this week, we are continuing to highlight Black Americans who were a major threat to white supremacy. Here's the backstory of 4 more Black entrepreneurs who never begged to be accepted, but created their own from scratch.
I got on that bridge.
Mr. A.J. Smitherman moved to Tulsa in 1890. The editor and publisher founded the successful Black-owned newspaper, the Tulsa Star. This publisher, Mr. Smith, was outspoken and regularly informed Blacks about their legal gun rights and continuously called for Black men to continue to take up arms in response to white attack. His business was worth $40,000 at the time it was destroyed in the massacre. Mr. John and Miss Lula Williams became some of the most successful Black people in the Tulsa Black business district. Mr. John started out working at a plant and fixing cars on the side. He would eventually become so successful at his side business that it became his main business. Mr. Williams and his wife then built a 3-story building where his wife Lula opened a store on the first floor. The family lived on the second floor and rented out the third floor as a commercial space to Black lawyers. They would also open the very popular Dreamland Theater. Everything they built will be destroyed the night of the massacre. Mr. Ellis Walker Woods walked from Memphis, Tennessee to Tulsa, Oklahoma after seeing a flyer advertising for Black teachers in Oklahoma. He was hired in 1913 at the Booker T. Washington High School. As its principal, the beloved educator would serve in that role for 35 years as well as have multiple businesses under his belt, all ruined the night of the massacre. Many of our Black American ancestors attempted to rebuild after the massacre with the help of lawyer B.C. Franklin. Mr. Franklin was a lawyer and the owner of a business that he lost the night of the massacre. After the massacre, he continuously challenged white supremacists by arguing cases meant to stop Greenwood residents from building again after. Ellis Wood, B.C. Franklin, John and Lula Williams, and Mr. A.J. Smitherman, everyone.
You see this, guys? Very intelligent people. Very thought-provoking people. Inventors. Business makers, homemakers, lawyers, doctors, hospitals, all of this stuff was destroyed. Matter of fact, I got something else for you guys. You see this, guys? Black Wall Street, founded in 1908, destroyed in 1921, 600 businesses, 21 churches, 21 restaurants, 30 grocery stores, 2 movie theaters, 6 private airplanes, plus a hospital, a bank, post office, lawyer offices, and even a bus system. You see this, guys? And these people destroyed all of this stuff. Why? Because they claim that some black man assaulted a white woman. So you go just burn and bomb the whole time? Now, here come the crux of it. They did all of that killing. I think over 300 people perished. But it's probably a little bit more than that, but they're claiming to be like 300. But there was several hundred injured and all of that as well, right? Now, there are 3 survivors of the 1921 Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre. 3. They went to court 4 times. The Supreme Court in Oklahoma, 4 times. And they were denied. Now, this is 1921. These people still living, guys, right? They still breathing. They still living. One of them is 110. One is 109. And the other one, I think, is 102, if I'm not mistaken. And the court has denied these people 3 times, but yet they send their money over there to Israel, Ukraine, and everywhere else around the globe. I said all that to say this. That's why you don't get no sympathy from me about anything that happens in this country or either abroad, because it's all interwoven and connected. Don't ask me talking about what about. Don't ask me nothing about that. I'm praying for them. That's all that I can give you. Don't ask me anything about these devils, because clearly you have to be a devil. These people living. So what is the excuse? There is no excuse. You owe these people their money, reparations, and yet you choose to sit on your hands and act like it's not a debt. Oh, but the plagues are here already, guys. Y'all just don't see it because the news media haven't told you yet. What you think them birth rates are about, guys? Huh? Oh, they trying to genocide us. Who genociding you? Nobody's doing anything to you. Another force is at play. Another hand has intervened. That's all it is. Huh? How about the drug epidemic? Them opioids. Yeah, hurricanes, floods. The earth is just opening up. Tornadoes jumping and hitting certain places. Wildfires all over the place. Earthquake in different places. Yeah. Oh, but you so tough. And the crazy thing is, nobody is lifting a finger. Nobody is doing anything to you. They're killing each other at a high rate, guys. They just don't want to come to terms with it. But they're killing each other at a high rate. That's why they have to project on you talking about black on black crime. Is there black on black crime? Yes, absolutely. but they also something called white on white crime as well. But they don't want to acknowledge it. Just because I don't want to acknowledge that I have cancer doesn't mean the cancer isn't killing me. And if I'm too stupid to acknowledge it and go get some treatment or go get some type of remedy, I'm gonna die. That's why white supremacy is imploding on itself. It's eating at itself. Instead of locking people for these drug use and these opioids, they giving them nice, cushion, soft places to go use it. So nothing is happening, but they study dying. And nobody didn't touch you because you owe a debt. You tell me, well, I didn't do it, but you still using the stuff that did. If you go get stolen goods from anywhere, you are liable. You was complicit. You know what happened. The government owe. And the government don't want to pay. That's why the country is going to crash. And it's going to crash hard. And guess what? Black people as a whole are going to be okay. Because black people have had it hard ever since. Make America great again. Make America great again for who? And we all know who that is. Because it was never great for us. And the very minute that you try to stand up on your own feet, this is what happened. And like I always say, and I'm going to continue to beat this drum until the day I'm gone. Tulsa, Oklahoma wasn't the only place. It was the most famous place. It was one of the most wealthiest places in the country amongst everybody, against white people, black people, against everybody. Tulsa, 1921, was one of the wealthiest place in this country. Guys, listen at me. You won't never get rid of this hatred for you. This is an ancient hate, guys. This is something that's go way back. It don't have nothing to do with me. It don't have nothing to do with you. This is an ancient hate. These people was minding their business, not bothering nobody. This here was after slavery, right? What bothering nobody? They was left to their own devices. And you see what happened whenever black folks, I'm talking about FBAs now, I'm talking about the descendants of the slaves, the freemen, okay? When they left to their own devices, this is what happened. That's why everything you do, they have to be right there on top of you. The Bible say they will hover over you like an eagle. Everything you do, they coming in and grabbing it. Because they don't want you to prosper by yourself, okay? They don't want you to advance by yourself because you are the salt of the earth. That's why everybody have to gleam to you all the time. That's why you can go to any place on the earth. Everybody talking about black Americans. The FBA's here. Whatever we do, that's what the world follows. See, guys, the powers that be is in cahoots with a dark force. People call it the devil because the book say the God of this earth is who? Satan. Not because he's all powerful, because man chose him. So the devil know who's who. And the powers that be knows who's who, because they have maps and they have information that the average folks don't have. But we know who we were. And they know if you stick close to these people, this is where everything is going to come through. That's why, family, if you go back and you look, these slaves, as they call them, how are they inventing so many things prior to 1865? We ain't talking about after 1865. We talking about prior to 1865. They was creating then. You remember them pyramids that everybody talking about? Well, we wonder how they built. The same people that built them, or the same people that's inventing prior to 1865. Those were the same people. And after 1865, there was 50,000 patents. After slavery, they cut the illiteracy rate in half by 50%. That's unheard of. That is unheard of. That's godlike. So what I'm telling you is they hovering over you. Everything you do, they come and they pluck it. They want to be over it. They is over it. That's why we call it white supremacy, guys. They take your music. They take your inventions. They take anything you create. Think about this, family. You see all these children that's geniuses and they prodigies and they whiz kids. Where do them kids go? You ain't never asked yourself that. Hey, I'm going to tell you where they go. They go to companies like Microsoft or Google or AT&T or some type of tech giant or somebody like that. Because what they do, they'll pay them kids $300,000 or $400,000, which is a pretty decent salary. Or either they'll give them $1 million. And they sit back there and they create. You ain't never thought about that, have you? And instead of the kids getting credit or that person that done grew up, but he is an inventor or some type, or he has some type of ideal about technology, instead of him getting paid the big bucks, the company take credit for it. And they come out with something like an iPhone or something like the metaverse or something like that. You see? Some type of new technology. And they get paid their salary, and the company make hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars off of it. You see how that works? Every time you see a child genius, they get absorbed, get consumed by one of these companies, and they just pay them a nice salary. They sit behind the wall and they create and they throw out ideas. You see how that works? Because they don't want you to be on your own. Because if you get by yourself, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You going to reset. What do I mean? You see all this filth that's on TV? That don't have nothing to do with none of us. That's foolishness. That's garbage. These Nicki Minaj's, these foreigners, and all these coons and mush mouth rappers, all that other stuff. The ball players are cool. I mean, that's cool. But we more than ball players. We more than entertainers. We more than just singers now. As you clearly seen in 1921, you seen what them people was doing. And that was back then. And they people doing it now. But it's harder to do it now. Because these nuisance junction laws and eminent domain, these people don't want you to be on your own. See, it's poor white trash talk that tell you to go back to Africa. Because they don't understand. But the people that's in power know. Oh, trust me. Because if it was in this country's best interest, they would have been kicked us out a long time ago. But there's another hand in play. I'm trying to tell y'all. I don't pray for nothing good for this country. Because you owe a blood debt. Until you pay the blood debt, brimstone, fire, hurricanes, floods, whatever. Tear up the place. Tear it up. We'll be okay until you pay the debt. See, this ain't no Jesse Lee Peterson on this side. We don't talk that Jesse. Well, these black people talk amazing. And you got to look at somebody like that and look at these people that's being denied justice and they still living. And yet you got to sit here and look at a Holocaust survivor or either one of those red Indians or Ukraine or Russia or something, and they get money. Nah. And you think that I'm going to sit back and kiki and kaka? I don't have nothing good to say. I don't have nothing good to say, but Lord, do what you gonna do. Burn up the place. Destroy this place. Yes, I said it. And save your people, the ones that's righteous I'm talking about. Because you do have some black devils too. Some of y'all just as bad as these people here. Some of y'all just as worse. Because you are for self. And that's the problem. And to be honest with you, that's what got us here in the first place. Being about self. There was some black Indians here. But then there was some people that came from Africa, the west side of Africa too. They call that the transatlantic slave trade. You understand? Because the Romans was coming down in 70 AD, if you didn't know it. And the people in Jerusalem fled down into Africa. And if you know anything about the Bible, that's a reoccurring thing. Anytime they was running from somebody or trying to get away, they always run down to Egypt or run down into Africa. The same thing about King Herod was trying to kill baby Jesus. Where did they go? Egypt. They ran down in Africa. Why? Because he would blend in. Joseph, brothers couldn't even identify him amongst the Egyptians whenever he was second or third in command in Egypt. His brothers thought he was dead. They couldn't even identify him from the Egyptians. You know why? Because everybody looked the same. That's why. Tell me exactly what y'all think. See, I understand perfectly. It all makes sense because everything is congruent. It goes together for me. Now, if things start contradicting, start pulling apart, then I have to go back to the drawing table and re-examine. But these people deserve their money like we deserve ours. But I'm showing you how devilish these people are because they don't have no excuse. These people living. The first thing they say, well, we didn't do it. Well, there ain't nobody living. They living. Guys, let me tell you this and then I have to go. My mother and my father told me stories about the things that they endured right here in South Carolina. Okay? They picked cotton and all that good stuff because down here it was more so of a agrarian type thing. You know, people picked cotton, people farmed around here because there is a lot of farmland around here. Okay, so my mother told me that they was actually staying on this plantation. This guy by the name of Clarence Newsom. Yes, I call his name Clarence Newsom. And every year, the same thing. We didn't make no profit. Yet they building bigger houses, got cars, got a big old farm. But yet sharecropping was designed to split the revenue. Every year, the same thing. They didn't never have any money to give to the slaves, basically. My mother told me on their way to school back then, they couldn't be no more than probably about 6, 7, or 8 years old. Said that this lady lived beside the road and she had an apple tree. And the apple tree had apples falling off into the roadway. And she told them, don't you pick up one apple. I don't care how hungry you is. Leave them there. Mom said they would be bees and ants all over the apples and cars coming by, crushing the apples, just running over. Said, but don't you touch one. One day, one of them was so hungry till they just grabbed the apple and just took one. And they didn't know that she was watching. They said that woman went down there and told Clarence, or told one of those slave owners that a child grabbed the apple. That man came and told granddaddy, said, if you don't stop them kids from picking up that woman apples out of that road, you going to have to leave this farm. You going to have to go. Now, mind you, I just told you they was sharecropping. Every year, they didn't make no profit according to the slave master. So you struggling to even eat. You understand? So the kids hungry, walking to school, they hungry. They don't have no money, don't have no food. This woman said, I don't care if you're hungry or whatever. Leave them there, let them rot. This is the type of people that we dealing with. I told you that because this is the type of people we dealing with and y'all can't see it. Y'all want to be buddy and all close. Not me. Not to say that all white people like that, but a lot of them are. And we all know it because we see it on our jobs every day. If I run across a good white person, fine and dandy. But these are the type that I run across because you can tell by their spirit. You can hear it up in their language. If you sit there and talk to them long enough, you can hear it. But this woman told them to let the cars run over. Let the cars run over the apples. Don't worry about the birds was eating the apples. I'm talking about in the roadway. Apples was falling out into the roadway. Told them don't they touch them. And every day they passed by there, that woman was standing out there on the porch thereafter. Standing out there watching them to make sure they didn't grab one rotten apple or nothing. You see, so whenever I hear a Candace Owens talk, or a Jesse Lee Peterson, or either a Hodge twin, or a black conservative, or Officer Tatum, or Anton Daniels, Haiti 1804. Okay. With that being said, guys, tell me what y'all think in the comment section. I know today was a little heavy, but sometimes you have to have these conversations because you have to open up your eyes and see what's going on around you. This just happened. The courts denied these 3 victims 4 times, but yet they sending money to every other place. See, I don't care. Don't come to me for no sympathy. Matter of fact, I'm praying against you. I said it. Guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Come on back to see me, guys. And until next time, peace. And remember, there is more.